Okay, so I've just finished watching the presidential debates. Yeah, that's right, the presidential debates. And over here on the other side of a pond, it started about 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, I should have gone to bed a long time ago, so I'm really tired at the moment. And also, I took notes at the start, but towards the end, I was just too tired to take them. So I'm just going to have to go off my mind, which is very extremely tired at the moment. But I had a flick through what the media was saying about the debates, and they kept talking on about how Donald Trump kept interrupting Joe Biden by talking over him. And they sort of framed it as it was a win for Biden and a loss for Trump. Now, I don't see it like that. Really, yes, Donald Trump was constantly interrupting and talking over Joe Biden, but Joe Biden was just letting him do it. So I feel like it's Joe Biden who comes over as really weak, really, in that aspect. Now, another thing is that Joe Biden didn't answer some of the questions and just, well, there's one here, question two, which obviously because it's question two, I took notes. Now, obviously because I'm British, I don't know any of this stuff. I don't know the fine minutiae of how the American system works. I'm sorry about that, but I think I can comment on how Joe Biden refused to answer the question. So, something about ending filibuster or packing the courts. And the judicator talked about how Joe Biden in the past have refused to talk on about this subject. And Joe Biden's response to this question was whatever position I will take will be the issue. Well, what does that mean, really? So he just avoided answering the question and then just started talking to the camera about going out and voting. It was one of the most cringe-worthy things I've ever seen. Now, the first question as well um, was about President Trump. You've nominated Amy, is it Coomber? Sorry, I've not got my glasses on. Over the weekend to the court, you said the Constitution is clear. You're you're obligated, and the Senate is to consider a nominee to the court. Vice President Biden, you said that this is an effort by the president and Republicans to jam through an appointment. And Donald Trump basically answered the question. Basically, we won the election and end of. Biden said the American people get a right to have a say by whom they vote into the Senate and who they vote into the White House. So that's basically what Trump has said there. Then he starts going on about conspiracy theories about what he wants him to do. But that wasn't the question. The question was whether it was legal or not. And you've just answered the question the exact same way which Donald Trump has done it. And I think Donald Trump was really good here, where he kept us saying, I didn't get nominated for 3 years, I got nominated for 4. The death of the previous head of the court, um, it's not his fault that it happened to fall within his reign as President of the United States. Then he starts talking on about, well, it comes section 2. and they start talking on about COVID-19, and Trump keeps going on about how you called me racist and xenophobic for wanting to close the borders. And because Joe Biden clearly was just pointing the finger at Donald Trump and just saying, look, there's been over 200,000, there's been over 200,000, and just pointing the fingers. So Donald Trump just reverses it back onto her and says, look, there'd be more if it was you there, because you didn't want to close the airports to China and Europe. And which responds at the end with Joe Biden once again looking at the camera and saying, how many people woke up this morning to see an empty chair where someone had died? How many people lost your mum and dad and couldn't even speak to them? Well, there's been 206,000 deaths in America due to COVID-19. The US population is 328.2 million, which means that there's been 0.06% of the population actually killed. So you're not really speaking to a lot of people there. Now, the next thing was they started talking about the economy, and Joe Biden actually said once that Donald Trump had ruined the economy, which, no, it was doing great. It had record low unemployment, and until COVID-19 happened, it was doing really great. And it's now actually skyrocketed back up more than what was expected, which the adjudicator even said. And Joe Biden here says 1 in 1,000 African Americans have been killed due to COVID-19. And this is because of Trump, but it was him who didn't want to close down the border. So when he said that, I was just thinking, that was stuck in my mind, that it was him who didn't want to close down the borders. And then it started talking on about Charlottesville and how Donald Trump said there was very fine people on both sides, which there was. And I think he also said there was very nasty people on both sides as well, which there was. Yeah, one woman did get killed, but there was also members of Antifa there filling up 40 ounces bottles of cider, pouring the cider out, filling it up with concrete and throwing it so it landed on people's heads. I wouldn't really call that nice. Then there was another time where he said that Antifa was not an organisation but an idea, where this is just quite clearly not true, and I don't think any of the Americans are actually going to believe that. They say that, or they pretend that is the case, and their supporters pretend to believe it. Everyone outside does not believe that whatsoever, and even they don't, because they just pretend to believe it. It's not an organisation, but they just happen serendipitously to all turn up all at the same time with matching outfits, with matching signs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Antifa is just an idea and not an organisation. It sounds pretty organised to me. So I would class it as an organisation, and I would class it as a terrorist group as well. They start talking on about the environment as well. And one of the other questions which Joe Biden avoids to answer is that the adjudicator talks on about all the buildings which Joe Biden wants to make in the Biden plan, which he calls it, because he says, I don't want to. He actually does disavow the Green New Deal, and says, I'm for the Biden plan. Now, the judicator asked the question to Trump supporters. This sounds like it's going to cost a lot of money, and Joe Biden tanked the economy. And Joe Biden talks on about how many jobs it would create. Now, that wasn't the question which was asked. It might create a lot of jobs at the expense of the economy. And that was the question. It would tank the economy. And Trump keeps going, 120 trillion, 120 trillion. That's how much it would cost. That's how much it would cost. So I think Trump won on that one. I think Trump won overall on this one, maybe because I probably lean more towards Trump quite a lot. And I'm trying to think of anything else which was said. I'm sorry, I'm really tired at the moment. I'm trying to get this out fast because I don't have time to do it tomorrow because I've got quite important jobs to do. And I've got to get some sleep as well. Oh, this is going to be good viewing, isn't it? Now, yeah, I'm sorry. I think that's it. I'm just too tired. So sayonara.